Don't let these tattoos fool you. I'm straight edge.
What I am is a prophet. I am the choice of a new generation.
I'm a man of great discipline. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs.
I am a champion that everybody can finally be proud of.
My addiction is wrestling. My obsession is competition. Discipline.
I am the first and only straight edge world heavyweight champion in history.
My name is CM Punk.
Top the skull, grab the leg, Punk again going for the vice, going for the vice again. Jericho, knees, and look at how Punk's with possession. Jericho can't get his knees to Punk's head. Punk. Guys to the table. CM Punk. And now Punk taking the side of the head. The cover. Del Rio. 2 count. Del Rio. Shoulder lock. Into the box. Into the box. What a move by Punk. What a counter by Punk. Anaconda vice. Anaconda vice. Del Rio's in trouble. The champ's in trouble. Hang on. Hang on. Del Rio's going. He's got to come out. Whatever. Shoulders down. Punk retains. Doing all he can.
What's good, everybody? My name is the Generation 71. Thank you for tuning back in to this new series that we have for you today. With this series, we're actually going to be heading behind the scenes to look at certain superstars to see how they act when they're not on screen. Because in case you don't already know, a lot of the WWE, if not all, is actually scripted. So I'm sorry if I just blew your current on-screen romance. If you don't already know that it's scripted, well, it's about time somebody spoiled that for you. With that being said, though, I want to mention one last thing. CM Punk is a straight-up player. The fact that he has dated 7 of the most beautiful women on Earth, you got to give this guy some props. And the fact that he actually married one of the not only one of the most beautiful women, but as well as one of the geekiest women out there, you got to give CM Punk some credit there. But anyways, now that it's said, let's go ahead and move forward. So CM Punk is one of those special characters for a lot of different reasons. He started actually wrestling at a young age. He set up his own ring in his friend's backyard and actually started doing promotions at a very, very young age. So even though people say that he's not the most athletically gifted, you got to give the guy props in knowing how a match tempo should be set out. Another thing that makes him special, which I give him a lot of props for, is he's actually kept his persona for his entire wrestling career, which isn't necessarily very, very common when it comes to these days. You see a lot of wrestlers actually change what they're all about to satisfy that current need, that current itch, that current fad that's currently going on. So, and a lot of people may be asking, well, what is that persona? Essentially, that persona is the straight edge persona. What straight edge is you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do drugs, you live a clean life. I'm going to do air quotes there in case you can't see that. Air quotes! You live a clean life, you don't do any of that stuff that would harm your body. The reason Punk has been able to pull this off so well is he actually does this in real life. He preaches it, he lives by it, and this is why a lot of people have followed him and he has such a big fandom. Not a lot of people, especially when it comes to the World Wrestling Entertainment Group, can actually really understand, if not even coincide by those clean lifestyles. Because you got to understand, with a lot of people actually putting their bodies on the line every single night, people tend to get addicted to painkillers. So CM Punk is special in that regard, the fact that he's been able to stay away from all that and actually preach that straight edge lifestyle. It's actually been so successful that he's been able to shift it both ways. I know when he was a heel, and of course that is a wrestling term from being kind of like the evil guy, when he had a run as a heel, he still preach the straight edge persona. And it's funny because he even states it himself that he was trying to be wrestling Jesus. Essentially, he was preaching this clean lifestyle and how everybody else was evil for not doing it. And if you weren't doing it yourself, you were evil and you were going to hell. Of course, when this was happening, this was actually happening on the show called SmackDown, which is kind of the B show that you can get away with a lot more stuff there than you would be able to on Raw, of course. So during his stint there is actually one of the most, I want to say, if not the most, but one of the most, I guess, heated, what am I trying to say here? The most heated times in the WWE as far as a person actually getting that much hate. There was actually old women jumping the barricades and actually trying to slap him and saying that he was going to hell for being a false prophet. So it's one of those sections where you can't believe that he went from there to actually being a babyface. And if you don't know what babyface is actually being somebody that the crowd loves, that they want to see win all the time, triumph over evil. After he turned babyface, he was still able to take that straight edge persona and still make it work to the point that people wanted to be straight edge. People thought it was cool. And again, not a lot of people can do that gimmick both ways. Essentially having them hate it and having them love it. Throughout it, like I said, he's not only kept it here in the WWE, but during his time in Ring of Honor, as well as when he was wrestling in the Indies, he was always preaching the straight edge persona. And as so many people have stated before, CM Punk himself has stated that he always preferred doing the straight edge persona while he was a heel because you get to have a lot more fun with it. And again, it just naturally attracts so much heat that you just can't help but hate it. You just can't help but hate it, essentially. Now, through CM Punk's stint in the WWE, he ended up having a lot of aggression towards the company as a whole, because he thought that he was the best in the world. He should be the company man. But of course, in the era where we have John Cena, he wasn't necessarily given that much of a push. And a lot of people just flat out didn't think he was that good. He didn't know how to wrestle, but he just wasn't that athletically gifted to somebody compared as, I think, Randy Orton would be a good comparison. So because of that, he ended up having a lot of pent-up aggression and eventually left the WWE. But during the first stint of him wanting to leave the WWE, that's when the famous pipe bomb aired. But a lot of people don't realize this wasn't the first time he's actually ever expressed this. He's actually expressed this in Ring of Honor as well. This, I guess, promo, as they would have called it. So it was well polished, well done, but it's one of those things that, again, he was able to take something he's already done before and refresh it, make it new, make it a new concept to a new situation. Another thing that he's been really, really well known for is, of course, the Diet Coke experience. If you don't already know about that, you should definitely look it up when you have a chance. All in all, CM Punk was definitely one of the most controversial superstars we've had since, I want to say, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he has definitely changed the company, even though he's no longer with the company. So again, I mean, if you guys definitely did like this video, please go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, leave some feedback, because of course it is the first one in the series. So if there's anything else I can improve on, I will definitely improve on it. But thank you guys for tuning in. My name has been The Generation 71, and we will definitely catch you guys later.